Hey you all, thank you so much for tuning into another video. I will most likely be posting this both to Sit and Pretty as well as Sit and Pretty Pro. So, I'm just going to introduce both of you, both audiences, or I'm going to introduce myself to both audiences the same. Okay, so welcome. I want to thank y'all so much for supporting the Sit and Pretty platform. And I just wanted to celebrate the launch, I'm going to say the official launch of the Sit and Pretty Academy. This is a project I have been online working on for the last like 4 or 5 years in phases, in bits and pieces. Those of you all who may have been a part of the academy, I have never been consistent on there. I'm just being honest. It's always been up and down, but I have, I guess, been consistent as far as over time I've continued to build. The thing is, when you are building a business with what some may consider to be limited resources, you don't always have the ability to take on or take up a lot of territory at once because you, number one, are most likely learning as you're going, unless you have coaching and education in that specific area. Which, of course, if your budget is limited, you can only access so much information and so much education at once. A lot of people who have a very cheap mentality, and I'm going to use those words because I want to verbally beat the lack and scarcity mentality up out of y'all. When it comes to achieving the things you want in life, it's going to be difficult to do so when you are operating with an extreme scarcity, and not even extreme, just a scarcity, a lack, a um, cheap mentality, and that surpasses money. But I'm specifically speaking in a monetary sense as I'm making this video. Um, you know, you well, I kind of missed my point there. Um, so yeah, like when you are operating with limited resources, there's only so much you can do at once. You can only grow so fast. And so it's never been something I've been able to just come out with. On top of that, I'm very young. I'm still young. I started in this industry when I was 12 years old. I was literally working on photo shoot sets at 16, 17, like in the salon at 17. Like I started this career at such a young age, and because of that, I have had to mature along the way. So this leadership position, I've been in a leadership position, but this role that I'm taking on today and stepping forward in, which is my coaching, um, I had to develop myself to get here. One thing about me is I take pride in what I do. It's not to say I don't have moments where I might slip up. Of course I do. I'm human. We all have those moments. However, it is to say that I do operate with a level of integrity. And one thing that I never want to do is launch something and somebody feels like they're not satisfied. It's not to say it has never happened. It's just to say that I at least try to put my best foot forward, even if I'm unable to do it all the time. Maybe life happens, you have to take care of your mental health. The world is changing every day. I try my best to give my best, the best that I can. And I've learned to be okay with that and still move with excellence, but not necessarily continue to chase perfection in this life because it's impossible. We are perfected through Christ and Christ alone. So I'm finally here, finally launching the Sit and Pretty Academy for real, not just like a test. I mean, when I first launched that platform on Patreon, I had maybe nine. I was the membership was maybe $5 to $9, And so over time, I had to realize in order for me to commit to it, I had to increase the value, because a lot of people don't realize how much it takes so much out of me to make these videos, y'all, because I tap into the innermost depths of my being to deliver the information that I give you all. That's why the people who support and buy into my brand, oftentimes I leave such a deep impact on them. It's not to say I'm for everybody. Some people may interact with me and feel like it's not, they may not feel the same. But I would say that's in the minority of people. But it takes a lot for me to deliver the products that I've delivered to y'all, the information, my YouTube, because I show up and I give my all every single time. I don't never have to do it. I'm always figuring out ways to innovate and get better. And when I was doing it for a low price, I noticed that I wouldn't show up as much. When I raised the price in the academy to $25, I was more consistent and I felt better about it, but I still had, life circumstances that kind of took me away. But I remember getting the idea for that platform in 2017. I somehow came across OnlyFans. This was before the OnlyFans boom for real. It might even been 2016 that I came across. It was either 2016 or 2017. And I remember I got the idea. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should host an education platform on there. But I didn't believe in myself. I had a YouTube at the time, but I just didn't know how to go about the digital products thing and the online marketing. I had my physical service-based business, but I didn't feel like I was ready to do the online thing because it was so foreign to me. Like, am I used to using online to market my services? Yes, but to make money solely off the internet, it just seems so bizarre to me, because I had an e-commerce business before where I was physically selling physical products, but to get into this realm of intellectual property, it was just something about it that was so intimidating to me. But I took the plunge, especially when the pandemic hit. I tried to focus on it more, and it has grown to what it has grown to today. And I just appreciate everyone who's been a part of the Sit and Pretty Academy. I feel like at this point, over time, I've probably had like maybe 200 people. Not all at once, because again, I become inconsistent. But there's been people all throughout the Sit and Pretty Academy, and I appreciate it. And I rebranded it a little bit, or revamped it. I took everything down and redid it. I think last year or something. But it is a platform that I am excited about. So I want to really celebrate that. And the newest feature that honestly, I created it last year, so it's kind of like a soft launch, but I didn't start posting content on there and promoting it until recently. So the newest tiers within the Sit and Pretty Academy are the tiers geared towards professionals and aspiring professionals in the beauty industry. Of course, there is a heavy emphasis placed on hair, and you are going to see that because I'm a hairstylist. But as the platform evolves and as I'm able to network and connect with more people, I would like to feature other beauty professionals on there to contribute more, not only of their thought, but also the technical things. So, I know a lady reached out to me. She is a microlock specialist. I know lash techs. So over time, I would like to introduce other professionals into the Sit and Pretty Academy. However, I have to work within the scope of what I can do right now. And of course, the more enrollees I get, the bigger my budget will grow and the more I can afford to do for the platform, because of course I would have to compensate them for their time and their expertise. But these were the tiers that I had last year. The devotee tier was a newer tier that I added last year. And the reason I created that tier was to provide a accessible option for those who, again, were doing their at-home hairstyling but wanted to incorporate the video consultation. At this time, which, this may change in the future, I can't say for sure, but well, it's not that I can't say for sure. I can't say of when or by how much. At this time, the virtual consulting program, where we have our one-on-one consultation and I build you out a custom regimen, is going for $150 for the 30-minute session. However, on the Sit and Pretty Academy, I created a option where not only do you get access to all of the content within the academy, also the private messaging feature. We have monthly live streams, which I haven't done as much because, of course, y'all, I shared with you all my situation, but you also get a virtual consultation in there. So it is a accessible way to have a consultation. I don't necessarily draft you out a full-blown regimen like I do for the virtual consultation on my website, but I do provide you with in-depth information in real time as we're having the consultation. Now, the newest additions to the Sit and Pretty Academy, which I'm very proud of and excited about, are the Pro Elite tiers, as well as ultimately the Mastermind. The Mastermind is my private coaching program that has just launched, which is only available to those of you all who have at least 5 years of hands-on experience within the beauty industry. If you are someone who does not meet that qualification, but you are seriously interested in becoming a part of that particular program, then you have to be on either one of the Pro or the Pro Elite tiers for at least 6 months. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, again, I told you all, I like to work with integrity. At the end of the day, I've done plenty of work in this industry for free. I am past that stage, starting now. And while I am here to get paid, and I deserve to get paid for all of the 12 years of time that I didn't put in work, for the $25 to $35 sew-ins I was doing for the girls, for all the years I didn't spent on YouTube giving free information, for the hours and hours I didn't put behind the chair, for the thousands and thousands I've invested in my education. Yes, I deserve to get paid and I expect to get paid. However, that is not my only goal. I want you all to actually walk away from the information and programs that you invest in with me with results. And so some people are going to adapt to this industry faster than others. And you also, see this trend in the beauty industry now where it used to be younger people getting into the industry, but you now have people who are like leaving their corporate careers, they're in their late 30s, 40s, now getting into the beauty industry. And so I do understand everyone is people. What a beauty pro was before and what a beauty pro is and means today is not the same. So you might have people coming from a project management, uh, uh, a administrative assistant, executive assistant background, coming from all of these different positions. They may have a business management degree. You now have people who have way more life experience jumping into the industry. And so for those individuals, it may be easier for them to transition into the business aspect than someone who is younger just coming out, right? So I will make exceptions for this coaching program specifically for those who I feel qualify. But I don't want to try to have a baby eating a steak, okay? That is why it has taken me I don't want to say so long, but I have blossomed in this industry a lot slower. And there are things that I was working on years ago that I still to this day have not gotten to, how can you say, like, I didn't get to be the one. Although I might have been early at doing certain things, I didn't get to blow up off of those things, if you get what I'm saying. And if y'all been following my platform, you will understand what I'm saying. But the reason for that is because of where I started and with what I started. There are certain levels to responsibility that you can simply not take on if you, or you should not take on if you're not ready for them. I was not in the place mentally, spiritually, physically, time wise, where I could offer a $1,500 coaching program to somebody and guarantee that I could show up for them in the way that they would need me to, and that they are entitled for me to show up for them at that price point. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew, essentially. And so that's the same reason I set up this platform the same way, because if you are a young person fresh out of Cosmo School with limited work history, you don't have any managerial experience, you haven't held down any jobs for a long amount of time, haven't experienced what it's like to be promoted, you may not have any sort of training in sales, you may not have any sort of education in business management, whether it be through certification programs or actual degree, what have you. It makes no sense for you to join the mastermind. And I say that because the mastermind is going to address a separate aspect of your beauty career than simply just the technical and basic self-employed aspect of the beauty industry. So for example, the Pro Elite and the Pro tiers are essentially the same content. The difference is within the Pro Elite tier is you get access to a monthly scheduled call, a video call where we can strategize. It makes it more unique than the Pro tier because the information that you will be exposed to and learn within the platform, we can actually discuss how you can make it work specifically for you. So it takes the guesswork out and you don't have to be stressing out over how to do that without some sort of insight, if you get what I'm saying. So that's the benefit of the Pro Elite tier. Now, on those tiers, while I walk you all through, again, you get that technical education hair wise when it pertains to the specialties I offer. And of course, eventually, as I named, I will bring other professionals on to share their opinions, their expertise, and their skill and knowledge with us. You also get access to basic information in regards to how to successfully be self-employed. So this looks like those of you all who are booth renting, right? You may be somewhat commission-based, or you're in the process of wanting to go from commission-based to a booth renter, or you're a booth renter, an independent stylist who you're really not hitting the figures that you should be due to the amount of time that you've been in the industry, the amount of investment you put into it, or maybe even your skills or the skills you don't have. Regardless, it's about being able to successfully say, I have been able to make, I am able to make 100 grand standing behind the chair in a booth rental situation. I feel that that is a important step to master before you try to become this actual business owner. If you want to be a successful business owner, you need to first become a successful if you want to be a successful business owner, you need to first become a successful self-employed person and booth renter when it pertains to this. Because becoming a business owner usually is going to involve, give me 1 second, you all, I'm sorry. Okay, I was trying to pull up a PDF. Becoming a successful business owner usually involves being a successful booth renter or manager first. And the reason I say this is because becoming a business owner requires hiring, and learning how to hire and train people ultimately comes from sorry y'all, you already know what's going on, y'all can hear it. Becoming a successful business owner comes through training people, and being able to be a good trainer, and a good manager will come once you learn how to master what you're doing. I mean, that's just the reality. I have seen people who actually have money try to get into businesses that they aren't familiar with, and all of their investments go right down the drain because, I'm all for hiring consultants, but I do feel that it helps to have some to help get your feet wet to a degree, so you can measure how good someone is when it comes to working. So let me see something really quickly, because I want to total up these numbers. I've never done this publicly, and I was kind of like, when I got the idea to do it, but I do kind of want to I understand that people want to know these things. And so I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. My intentions for showing y'all this is to show something, because I understand people, that's something people look for is receipts. So how I would do it is I had an actual point of sale in the studio, and then all of the things you pretty much see the payments processed online, it would either be like at sometimes some people pay all their appointment fee up front. Like some people just do the $50 deposit, others pay all of the appointment up front. But the point is, I didn't use Acuity Scheduling as my main payment processor, but sometimes people would use Acuity to just complete the whole payment and not just pay the deposit. That's more so what I'm saying. And then also, you all know I did my memberships and stuff a lot, so I would have my memberships. So, you can take with this what you will. At the bottom, of course, where it says unpaid and deposit remainder, the rest of that, like I said, it's either going to be cash, and maybe I didn't check it in there. I might have included it in the Square point of sale as a cash payment, or again, a credit card or debit card payment on Squarespace. Hope that makes sense. My goal is to show y'all like a realistic goal to set. A lot of people get caught up in these, oh, you can be a millionaire and this. If you want to be a millionaire, you first have to make 25,000. You first got to make 50,000. You first got to make 100,000. In each and every one of these milestones that we meet, they count as success towards our goal. So I can't show you those types of big lump sums. I'm sure in my lifetime, I'm sure many of us have made $1 million in a lifetime. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And let me continue with the video because I'm editing. Actively use different payment processors. So for example, on Acuity, I use Stripe to process the deposits. And when it comes to swiping, I used Square to process those. And of course you have Cash App, of course you have Zelle, of course you have cash, you have other forms of payment. But I just wanted to show y'all can take it or leave it. You can take it or leave it. It's completely up to you. I'm not here to convince nobody. I just want to give my presentation. But the reason that I separated that particular tier from the others is because for you to successfully and sustainably be able to create the systems you need to, if for some reason you went viral, I've been viral before, and I didn't know how to use that momentum in the moment to build my business up. See, when you get a viral post, that is not the time to stop posting. And see, that's something I would do. When you are unprepared, when opportunities come along, you will not be suited to be able to maximize them. And so that is the reason that mastermind program is not open to everybody. You need to master the basics first and then work your way up, is the point. If you haven't experienced what it's like to earn six figures standing behind the chair off services alone, that tier is not for you. And so that is what I teach you all in the pro elite tiers, is how to become a six-figure stylist. I know y'all are tired of hearing about six figures, but going from somebody making like 20 to 30 grand, 40 grand to making six figures, it changes things. It puts you in a different space where you're able to do a little bit more, not only on a personal level, but you're able to invest back into your craft in order to get to the next one. See, a lot of people are trying to get to the $1 million into this, and it's like, even the six-figure thing, focus on where you are. If you are somebody earning 15 to 29,000, you need to focus on getting to 50. Let's focus on that. If you are a $20 to $30,000 hairstylist, if that right now, or beauty tech, lash, brow, whatever you do, if that is what you do at this time independently, then, or wherever you are in your career, but especially like if you're somebody who's commissioned to independent, or you independent trying to get it together, you need to focus on, how can I double that? How can I get to 50,000? How can I get to 55? How can I get to 60? That's how it was for me in my first year back into doing hair. I had to make 40 to, I think, 50 that year. I had to go from that 25 to 50, and then from the 50 to the 100. That's the point I'm making. Like, you have to take baby steps if you want to see sustainable growth. Because what you don't want to happen is, somebody shouts you out or something, and you're extremely booked, or your product goes crazy, but you don't have the infrastructure and the long-term planning and the skill to be able to maximize those opportunities that come. And so I know it might sound like I'm over-explaining myself, but that is why it's a tiered situation within the academy, because I want y'all to have long-term results. So again, the pro elite tiers are to help you become successful independent stylist and self-employed beauty business professionals. Now, the mastermind is to take you from a beauty pro to actually being able to be the CEO in your own business, because it's not the same thing. When you enter into the mastermind, you go from being a self-employed person who is trading your time for money still, to moving into a space where you can choose to trade your time for money, but your services are not the main selling point for you. In fact, they are at the top of your value ladder. They're at the top of the pyramid. You get paid for them. You get paid the most for them, but you don't exhaust them. The self-employed model is your services become like little commodities. You got to do a whole lot of them. It's the main source of your income. But once you enter into that mastermind phase, what happens is you begin to go from a place of hold on, let me just try to show y'all something really quick. I didn't plan on doing this, but I think it would be good to do, just to paint the picture. Mastermind is where you're developing multiple sources of income, where you are learning how to diversify. A ability to diversify is a byproduct of getting to a place where you're ready to take on more responsibility and more management. So I want to kind of show you all, and I'm not big at doing this, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be careful because, well, this is what I'll do. I'll screenshot it so I don't have to worry about exposing nobody's information. I have sold Growing Teen on a few platforms. You all may or may not have realized that I updated my website a year ago. So the interface on my website is new. It's not what it was. And on the Wix platform, every time that you update it, you every time that you update your Wix platform with the new site, your sales data and your sales report become linked to that site. So I'm just going to show you all this updated, and I'm going to show you the other elements that go into stepping more into the entrepreneurial side, selling products, hiring, going from a place of you are the business to you're creating a business entity. Now I'm going to show you all how to do that a little bit within the mastermind. I'm sorry, the Pro Elite tiers is late, y'all. I'm going to show you all how to do that in an introductory level in the mastermind, but you're mainly going to, in the Pro Elite tiers, but you're mainly going to find that within the mastermind. So, this is more so what you're going to find in the mastermind tiers, getting more into selling digital products. So you can see during this particular date frame or time frame, this is what I was able to earn from my Growing Teen Challenge. I do not run ads. I, at this time, only rely upon social media organic traffic as well as my main bread and butter, which is my newsletter, my email list, which is something I'll be teaching you all in both tiers. But just diversifying, also sharing you all the process of starting a hair care line with limited resources, and a hair care line that's actually profitable, right? Something that is actually bringing in income. I'm going to show you all those sales, some sales from that platform, showing you how to go into that, which is a very important aspect, again, of diversifying. If the pandemic was to come back, or there was some kind of worldwide catastrophe where we see they are increasing by the day, if it came down to it and you could not go to your salon space, which is something I personally experienced during the pandemic, and I didn't take clients in my home at first, but what are you going to do if a situation like that happens again? And also, if you get into a space where you are able to launch a product or something, how are you going to handle scaling that, right? So this is for Azara Cosmetics for a period of time. Just to show y'all, at the end of the day, one thing I'm never going to do is do too much in this place. I don't know how y'all showing too much, but I don't mind showing y'all the fact that these things are generating income. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're able to make $500 off a digital product that you made one time. That's still a great profit. If it only took you $10 in a day, of course you had to compile all your experience into it. But the point is, it might have not literally cost you $500 if it took you 10 years and $30,000 in education to acquire it. But at the end of the day, it shows that it's still interest in it. People still want to buy it. I'm just showing y'all that people actually buying my things. That's it. But the point is, you want to be, as the mastermind, not only are we going to go through how you can diversify your income and go from just standing behind a chair to being a true business owner, to where you're able to hire, you're really systemized, you're scalable. That's what we're going through over there. In conclusion, as I welcome you all to come and join the professional tiers within the Sit Pretty Academy, I have helped coach several people that were my friends at the time who were also in the beauty industry. I got one girl I know who I remember when she graduated school, we both worked at Adidas at the time. And I was taking my clients, but she was still in barber school. She was going to school to be a barber stylist. And I remember, when she graduated, she was just talking about how hard it was to get clients. And I told her name is Coco. She big on Instagram. She is fire with the locks. I said, Coco, why don't you, she like, yeah, I like to do locks, but I'm doing the cuts too, and I'm doing this. I said, Coco, why don't you just focus on putting your all into the locks, and if you got to do a quick little lineup or whatever you got to do with the barber, and you do that, but just focus on the locks. And I remember just telling her how to get a more exclusive clientele, just talking about it. And now that girl is that girl. That girl is that girl. Over the years, I have coached several other beauty professionals informally, pro bono, completely for free. And I'm happy to see those who actually took the information. I even coached a rapper, y'all. But I'm happy to see those who actually valued the information and did something with it. But even them, like, there's certain people who I've given information to, and they might have taken the basics, but it's like all of the other value that I give them, they don't really value it. And I have others who I have, I just spent 2 hours the other day talking to a young lady who is telling me she making like $2,800 a month working as an independent stylist. And, she's like saying, how she was making more money working commission. And, I just gave her the full game. And first of all, I gave it to her for free. And I even offered her to get coaching at a discounted rate, just to have her as a testimonial on record. Because while I have a lot of people who I could point to and say, yes, I helped this person, I want to have people that I could document, just like I have my clients in the salon and things of that nature. But she was talking about what she couldn't afford, whatever. Before I countered this to her, I countered her with that offer because she said she was struggling. I'm like, you know what, maybe she has some potential. And the reason I'm bringing it up is to say, at the end of the 2-hour call, my consultations for 1 hour are not free, obviously, right? At the end of the 2-hour call, I suggested to her, I didn't even suggest to her to pay me. I told her, I want you to redesign your room. And I said, these are the aesthetics that I think will fit within. I remember I sent her something on OfferUp, and I said, I think this will be a good piece to introduce into your room, just to start that rebranding process. She didn't even want to spend the $70 on the piece. Now, I don't know what she has or what she doesn't have, and I don't want to be in nobody's pockets, because I know y'all might feel that way. But I'm simply saying, that's something. And I told her at the end of the call, because at the end of the day, y'all, I didn't help too many people for free. I'm not doing it no more, right? I send her my Cash App, and I say, you do with that what you will. I'm not expecting nothing, but I do believe if you want to be serious about what you're saying, and you want to be serious about putting the work in behind what you get, invest into it. Because when you attach an investment to the information, you look at it like that's something I pay for, versus it just going in one ear and out the next, And so it's been almost a week and a half. The girl still ain't Cash App me, and that's fine. if for some reason she changed her mind and came back around, I wouldn't necessarily offer her um, I wouldn't offer her the initial offer that I offered her, of course, because she did not take it in that moment, right? And she also showed with her actions she didn't value anything I said. So I'm only going to extend myself to somebody who I feel like is genuine and actually going to take advantage of what I'm giving them, and do what they can. And that's one reason I will no longer be coaching for free. Another reason is I'll just say this because I'm not going to post nothing. I was doing audits on various people's social media accounts. One person in particular, when I sent them theirs, they were just, they were saying if they felt like my audit was trying to sell my course. I don't doubt that you may have some knowledge that can expand my potential, but paying a consultation for someone to explain something to me that may or may not work is not adding value to me, is adding value to you. You add value to a person by showing them what you can do works. Then they have the option of investing with you after blah, 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 blah. So like I explained to that person, I have several videos on my YouTube. I got Instagram. I got Yelp reviews. I got all kinds of different things that I feel is enough. I also offer the information on the Academy. They have a new feature where you can get access to the videos without fully committing to the enrollment. So the audit videos, yes, you get them by joining, but you can also choose to purchase them a la carte at a significantly less rate, right? And at that point, if that's not enough, then you're not cut out for it, because in order for me to start making $10,000 a month, I had to start spending 25 to 28 plus $100 a month. I'm just keeping it real for me to even push past the little bit of money that I was making before. It take money to make money unless you're scamming. Like, that's just the reality of it. I decided that week I was going to offer free video consultations. I was putting it on my threads. I was putting it all over. And of course, nobody responds. People don't value free things. But I sent it to everybody who I was interacting with. And this particular person who told me, showed me what you could tell me, blah, blah, they just read it and didn't respond. People don't value free things. When people get to talking about the price and I don't like this, that, it's just an excuse to not do it. It's a form of procrastination, in my opinion. And I can always tell who invests into themselves and who doesn't, because your work shows, your money shows. When you are somebody who is, like I said, unless you're a scammer and a taker, which that'll ultimately catch up to you one day. The people who don't invest into their craft, it always shows. Your work is trash. You just, it shows. And so that's just what it is. I had another guy who, I had seen him post on Threads talking to some other business coaches. He was saying that, he would really like coaching, but he can't afford it at the time, blah, blah, blah. And so once again, just, I'm like, I could take somebody and make them not a guinea pig, but just to use them as a testimonial, right? So I went ahead and took it upon myself to reach out to them. Of course, all of these are Black people. So, I want to see us all win. And I reached out to him. I told him I seen his post. I told him what I think about his work. I asked him I just gave him a brief little, just to scratch through his mind. And so he scheduled the video consultation. It ended up no showing. And so, the point is, and then he hit me back up to reschedule, but I'm obviously not going to respond. If he wants to respond, he can book a full price thing. But the point is, y'all, people do not value free things. And even if they do find some value in it, they don't see the full value. And from this point on, I will no longer be undervaluing myself or my services in any form. I'm over a decade into this thing. I have the results to prove it, to prove what I know. I have studied and showed myself approve. And I am confident that for those who take it upon themselves to invest into their craft, I can help you get the results that you are looking for within the scope of what it is that I am offering you. And so I invite you, if you are a beauty professional or aspiring beauty professional, I invite you to come be a part of the Sit and Pretty Academy if you are feeling stuck, right? You're feeling stuck with your branding, you're feeling stuck with your marketing, you're feeling stuck with your sales. You have low client retention rates. Maybe you're not getting any clients at all. It's hard for you to build your digital presence, what have you. Or if you're somebody who you've been able to master or achieve some of these things, but you may feel like you're plateauing. Maybe you don't feel like you're growing in your business. Maybe you're ready to take on more responsibility so you can reach more lives, touch more people, um, and earn more. Then now is the time to invest. Okay, you would be a great candidate for the mastermind, but of course I ask y'all to email me first if you have any questions, if you want to set up a quick consultation call just to kind of speak a little bit more, or even like I said, within the Sit and Pretty Academy you can purchase videos individually just to familiarize yourself with the subject matter, see if it's for you. That's a very affordable way to interact with the platform. But if you're ready to grow, y'all, this is the opportunity to do so. I'm going to get out of here because it's late and I've been making videos and talking all day. But I want to thank you all so much for being a part of my journey thus far. I'm so excited for where I'm getting ready to go. I have been wanting to, go in this direction for so long, but was I was too intimidated to really pivot, but I am throwing myself out there. The circumstances in my life keep showing me that I don't have no option to stay in my comfort zone anymore. I have to start pushing myself and start taking on more. And so that is what I am doing, being obedient. So, yeah, I'm so excited. Right now, within the Sit and Pretty Academy, the technical sense, we are focusing on the healthy hair weaving course. So you'll find that within these three tiers, not the other tier. Although the other tiers, there are like the enthusiast tier is like a tutorial based it's tutorial based content, so you find more overviews. I do give in-depth information, but the information in the other tiers, the professional tiers, are broken down like to the nitty gritty. Like it's filmed course style, not tutorial style, so it's just more thorough. There are sewing and weaving classes in the enthusiast tier, but the depth and the thoroughness that you will find in the other tiers is just unmatched. So I look forward to seeing you all in the Sit and Pretty Academy. You can visit my website and send me a message with your questions if you have any in regards to this platform. And I am looking forward to working with you all. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for watching.